Message from an armor-bearer. Hey there, I need your urgent help. Well, I'm an armor-bearer. The Bible mentions me in the Old Testament. As an armor-bearer, my job was to carry the armor of my master behind him during a battle fight, and also guard his life. We were personally handpicked by kings, and we were willing to lay down our lives to safeguard our masters. My clan is fast falling extinct. Now this is an alarming situation. True, not as much in the physical, but every believer fights a spiritual battle that is more real and more intense than you can ever imagine. For we fight not flesh and blood, but spiritual powers, principalities, rulers, and wickedness in the realms that come against the hearts, minds, and will of the people of God. And this is where we need armor-bearers, who will stand alongside and be a support to those fighting battles in the spiritual frontline. Do you realize it's so easy to find people who criticize and condemn? But the world needs armor-bearers who will choose to walk behind their not-so-perfect leaders and lift their burdens, who will shield those walking in front of them with their prayers and edifying words. Actually, we're all bearers. The question is, bearers of what? Sadly, most of us are bearing motives and attitudes that knowingly or unknowingly destroy others. Do you know the word armor-bearer in Hebrew means to lift up? Yes, if only we realize how precious an armor-bearer's role is in God's kingdom. But you see, the pulpit never runs short of those aspiring to be in the spotlight. Worship leaders, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. But talk of armor-bearers and there are hardly any takers, because armor-bearers often work behind the scenes. You remember the supernatural victory that Jonathan won for the Israelites in 1 Samuel 14, when all odds were heavily stacked against them? You may credit Jonathan for that victory, but it wouldn't have been possible without the amazing response of his young armor-bearer who said, "Do all that you have in mind. Go ahead. I am with your heart and soul." That day, the crowds cheered for Jonathan, but his armor-bearer went unnamed and unnoticed. Sometimes you may feel it is a thankless job. It could even mean times where your efforts are overlooked or not even recognized. But know that God has got your attention, and when He promotes you, it's gonna be explosive. Remember David? He was once King Saul's armor-bearer. But because he placed honor in the man who has an authority over him, God saw it as an honor unto him, and He raised him up to be Saul's replacement. Can God trust you to be an armor-bearer for the authority He has placed over your life? Are you willing to lay down your personal vision and stand for your leader's vision? Women, instead of finding faults and grumbling all the time, would you stand as armor-bearers for your husbands? You don't need a talent, skill, or degree to qualify. It's simple. When you start carrying the heart of God, you will start carrying others. You just gotta make yourself available, because the need is immense. Wounded hearts are waiting. Tired shoulders are waiting. Heaven is waiting. There is a dearth of armor-bearers in His kingdom. Would you be one?